Yes, sir. What's poppin'? Show boy, the boy Henry Heck back at it again with the GG or Die podcast, episode 14, brothers and sisters. Yes, sir, Bob. Another Saturday morning, living in the AM. In case you wondered on over here, on accident. But let's get off into it, starting with what I've been playing for the week. And man, I've not been playing much. I recently hopped back onto Star Wars Outlaws. Oh yes, one of the more controversial Star Wars titles, but to be honest, I've been enjoying it. You know, the world they present is pretty cool. The character ain't really that bad, to be honest with you. Pretty standard character, you know, cool scoundrel type design. You know, her actions are thereof a scoundrel. I've not really got the full band together, but so far the people on the team are some pretty cool individuals, to be honest with you. The stealth, there's a couple things with the stealth that I wish were in the game that's not in the game. You know, the ability to drag bodies. I don't know if that's something you'll be able to unlock later. You know, I can't really speak to it because I've not completed the game. But, you know, when you drop a body, there it lays. You can't drag it off. And for me right now, you know, I'm still kind of getting used to the different controls and quick menu and stuff like this. But, you know, I get used to it, so I can't really dock it for that. But what I do really dislike is the platforming in this joint. The platforming is poop. It is straight up poop. You understand what I'm saying? And I get that, you know, developers want to do their own thing, but I feel that there should be like a universal jump timing situation when it comes to these platforms, especially because if you go play another game for a second, I think Stellar Blade also had this kind of issue as well, but you know, I was able to time it a lot better on that because the character in Stellar Blade is just a lot more agile. Another game that had an issue with jump timing was Echoes of the End, and they actually went into the game within that week and, you know, they adjusted a lot of stuff. They adjusted a ton of stuff. I actually have to go back and get into that game because, you know, I enjoyed it. The storyline was solid. The combat initially was solid. It was just, you might as well not even worry about trying to perfect block because the timing was so cooked. You know, it's not a situation like Liza P where it was just different timing. It's like the visual cues just weren't cueing. You know, you had to really build up an internal system to recognize when that was going to happen. And a lot of times it was just broken, to be honest with you, which is why I really think they just went in and made a big adjustment to it. Now, because when they adjusted it, I was already toward the end. I finished that game pretty quick. I was like balls deep in that joint right there. I enjoyed that game. And hopefully there was some visual issues at the end of the game when it came to like fire. Hopefully they adjusted that as well because the fire was looking not heavy. It was not looking good to keep it all the way real with you. It looked like PS2 gen fire, which didn't make sense to me because there was other fire in the game. Now, it wasn't amazing. But it didn't look that bad now. And I don't know what was going on as far as, because the level itself was a bunch of fire in a level, like a battlefield, and stuff had got blown up. So it was a lot of fire everywhere. And I don't know if they had to tune some stuff down because it was so much, but it looked so bad it was distracting. I put it like that. It looked so bad like it didn't belong. You know, and at this point, Star Wars Outlaws have been out long enough to where if they were going to adjust the jump time, and they would have already adjusted. So it's just one of those things where I just have to, you know, grin it and bear and get through it. But the story so far, like, because I'm in a portion now where I'm just getting the band together, and I'm not mad at it. You know, especially for being Massive's first big step off from the Division franchise. And I'm super thankful they're back on the Division franchise because ain't nothing like coming home, especially after being gone for a long time. You've been gone for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and you come back home. Your house just smell heavy. It smell like milk and honey in that joint. You walk off in there, your body just feel warm, cozy, as it were. it's a damn good feeling when you've been gone. Cause my wife, I don't like to be gone longer than 5 days. It's just me. Different people have their threshold for how long they can stay gone and not feel homesick. On that 5th day, I'm ready to get back to the house. She like to be gone for at least 7 days. She'll be gone for 2 weeks if she could. She's just that type of individual that just like to be on the beach. Just like to be on the beach. The beach is cool. It's cool. Salt water, I fuck with it. You know, the kids have a grand old time. Cool beverages flowing. Just kicking back, not having to worry about a lot of things that you got to worry about when you're in the regular real world. You know, and I say the regular real world because those places we go to are real world, especially for the people who live there. You know, the people who live there, if you notice, they ain't really out there like that. Especially when the tourists and all the people coming on, they not really out there. You know what I'm saying? Unless they run like a food truck or you know, a bar or something. Yeah, they out there then, but they working. They not out there just walking along the beach, getting their feet wet. They not really doing that. You know, but we plan a vacation. She trying to plan for the maximum amount of days to be gone. I'm like, nah, bruh. That's too many days. That's too many days. She tried to squeeze me out for 9 days. Like, no, brother. You know, so she settled on her, you know, you 7 and stuff like this. And then I'm bruh, on that 6th day, I'm dying. And I'm not even trying to sound like a complaining freak. You know what? No, I'm complaining right now. It's like, because in my mind, I'm like, I could have already got the drive. Oh, people say just fly. No, I'm not flying. I can't stand flying, bro. And I actually hadn't flown since 2015. We flew on over to one of the homies was in the military and we went over there to visit because he had this. You know what I'm saying? He had a broad, and he had moved. He had his own place at this point, and we went over there to see because I had never been to California. And the wife had never been. So it's like, all right, cool. My boy want me to come out. We don't have to pay for, you know, Airbnb or what have you. We just kick it with him. He gonna come scoop us from the airport. We won't have to worry about a Uber and all this type of stuff. I can just whip his car. You feel me? And that was a little bit long. It wasn't a long flight, but I had never been on the plane before, so it was long to me. And I really didn't. I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it. And then last year we flew up to Kansas City, and it just reaffirmed that I'm just not an airplane person. It's just not my type of. Like, I'm not up in there having like panic attacks and that type of thing. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just I don't care for the experience of going through the airport. And we leave out of Atlanta. We leave out of Hartsfield. You feel? We leave out of a mess. And maybe that got something to do with it. Maybe that has something to do with it, but that's the one I'm closest. I mean, we have a local airport here, but unless you got a private plane, you're not flying out that joint. Trump did use it when he came down to go speak at a church a couple towns over. But unless you got some super official or private plane type situation, or you skydiving, they host skydiving out there. So unless it's one of those three, it's not like, oh, I could go up there and charter. Well, I probably could, to be honest with you. If you got the paper, you can make anything happen. And I don't got that kind of paper. I do not have that kind of paper. Because we talking about tens of thousands, if not more. You feel what I'm saying? But, so, on that 5th day, that 6th day, I'm like, bro, I could have already drove back to the house and I would have been chilling on my sofa. Like that, those are the kind of thoughts that start popping in, and, you know, I have to, you know, check myself that, you know, I'm out here with the family and they enjoying themselves. And if I let that consume me too much, then I'm going to become a downer. Because the wife, she'll be like, wow, you having fun? She that type. She'll check in every now and then, asking you if you're having a good time, this, that, and the third. And then, I don't lie. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not finna be fake. I'm like, yeah, I kind of wish I was at the house already. And then, you know, it affect her little mood for a little bit until something else catch her eye, and she get excited, and one of the kids run up and, mommy, look at it, and then she back in the mode. But yeah, bro, like after that, after 5 days, 5 days is cool with me. 5 days cool with me. And so Massive had been working on what they were working on for however long. I know when they booted back up into this, however it working game development, they booted back up into Snowdrop. What did they use Snowdrop for? They did use Snowdrop. When they booted back into the Division source code or whatever, I don't know. I'm not a developer. However it worked. When they got back into whatever they was doing, and they start seeing them assets flowing, because they back on the job. They back on the Division now. One of the best third-person shooters to ever grace the consoles, especially the last two generations, because it launched on PS4. The way they fuse RPG and third-person shooter. They did a damn good job when they did it. They did a darn good job when they did it. It's like the lore that's speckled about the world map. And then the way they built it off of, which is like the green poison, the way they built it off and how it, took hold of the world. I mean, the game been out long enough. If you ain't played it by now, you're probably not going to play it, especially after this recent blow up they just had when the game went on sale. But how on Black Friday, it started with $1. It started with $1. Something that they get highly circulated in the US of the A. Oh, bro. New York City? Kicking it off in New York City? Oh, man. And I'm not even the type of individual to be hyped over movie inspired video. Video game inspired movies. Whichever order it go in. Movies based off games. But they said a Division movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. Is it Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal? I don't know. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you get what I'm saying. Southpaw, my favorite movie by him. Boxing movie, excellent movie. It's another movie called Prisoners, I think. He's a detective. He after a child predator. Talk about some acting for your tail. Oh man. Listen. Excellent actor right there. But anyway, talk about him as the front man of that film. It's up in limbo now. Don't nobody know if it's coming or going or what have you. And at this point, he could not want him to be a part of it at this point. I hope that's not true. If it is going forward, I hope they don't have to pick someone new. But I also don't know to what degree, like how would it have flown? Like, is he a civilian and just bearing witness to all this stuff happening, or is he, a Division agent and he's been activated? Either way, it's gonna be fucking lit if it do come to fruition. That's like the first and only time I've just really been hyped for a movie adaptation. Any other ones I could take or leave. I do like Resident Evil. It is a guilty pleasure type of movie for me. I just like, because I like Mila Jovovich. I do like her. Fifth Element, multi-pass, put that little makeup eye thing on the eyes, and now she got lashes, little shadow. I think back then, as a young man, you seen that movie, she was for sure a crush, for sure. And she been in a lot of good stuff too. You know what I'm saying? I actually like Ultraviolet. She was in that joint. And she do a lot of sci-fi type stuff. Only movie of hers that I don't think I've seen was the Monster Hunter movie. I didn't watch that. But anyway, The Division. Speaking about what we have been playing, I also been playing some Division Resurgence. I had jumped back into there, and I actually started playing with a controller. You know, I picked up my PS4 controller, connected that joint. Amazing feel on there, and they've made some updates, and you could always see your performance at the bottom left. So you see your, depending on what phone you got, of course, now. So I got my ultra high graphic settings with my 30 FPS, and I use a S25 Edge. You know, I downgraded from, because I was one of those guys who, I'm gonna just get the flagship. And I have been doing that since the Samsung S8 Plus. I have been doing that since then, since that phone released. And I obviously don't upgrade every year because I'm not that type of individual. But, you know, about every other year, you know, because by then, usually, I'll have either cracked the screen or, you know, my battery will be kind of on the fritz. Usually I don't upgrade till my battery is on the fritz, because you can always just go, you know, you break, I fix. They throw a new screen on that joint like $100 some, and you call it even. You call it the goddamn evening. But anyway, this last go around, I got a new phone last summer. This last go around, I was like, all right, this is a smaller phone, because, fun fact, the iPhone 4 is my favorite phone of all time. Hadn't had an iPhone since, to be honest with you. Hadn't had one since. I had a 5C for seconds, and then I was like, you know what, fuck this Apple shit, I'm gone. And then I started, like, you know, switching around from different Android OS phones, and then I settled in on, you know, Samsung with the S8 Plus when it released. And it was a damn good phone, damn cool phone too. Cool phone. I actually don't have it anymore. That's like the only one of my older phones that I do not have, because at the time, the wife, she had an iPhone something. I don't know. It was an old iPhone too. So, because she's definitely not the type. She's not one of those type of individuals where she got to have the hottest, newest phone shit. She gonna rock out with her, because that phone had been through hell. It had got like shut in the car door, and it had like a bend to it. Like, it wasn't broken, like nothing. There was no crack or nothing, but it had like a slight bend to it. You know how like some people hold their finger up and it got like a kind of bend to it. Her phone was like that, and then one day it quit. I forgot what happened to it. I think she might have been washing dishes or something and dropped it in the hot dish water, and like that was it. And that's another reason why I always keep my old phones too, instead of just trading them in on the new phone. Even though you could get a good little piece off, to be honest with you, and even especially if you got an iPhone. That's one thing, because I've been, for whatever reason, I know we way off subject, but for whatever reason, I've been looking back into phones again, and I've been feeling the stupid urge, might I add, to get like a second phone, but not like a newer iPhone and Android or something like that. I want something like different, you know. And the Clicks communicator just kept popping up on my timeline, because they be listening to what I be saying. They be listening. It's really because, like, my Google search, I type in and look up some cool tech in a heartbeat, especially from the article recommendations that Google drop in. Like, it'll drop in. Like, that work real good. Like, when you put in what you interested in, like a lot of these apps, so they be recommending stuff you really don't give a fuck about. But they'll throw articles up there, and every now and then I'll check one of them out. And I have been like checking out these phones with keyboards and things like this, because, you know, as you can see, a lot of stuff with technology and people going back analog in a lot of ways. You know, we see it with music. People are redoing the iPads and selling them, and, you know, just walk around with MP3 players, which is all that's cool. But anyway, I'll get into more of that in a second. But the Clicks communicator got a full keyboard. In my opinion, it doesn't look as cool as the Titan 2, but I watched a video where, you know, the co-founders, both of them together, and the designer, they got one of the designers from if I'm not mistaken, the lead designer from BlackBerry, they went and got him up out of retirement to work on the phone, and they got to talk about the design language and all this stuff, showing the drafts, and I was locked in. That type of stuff will sell me on the device. It's not available yet. You got pre-order. It's like $499 or something like that, or you could pay a deposit of for now $250. You could pay a $250 deposit. But stuff like that will sell me more than an advertisement, more than a commercial. You know, some people will see some cool, like the Eclipse, the old Mitsubishi Eclipse commercial where they was riding around and had the vibes playing. Like that commercial will sell some people. And I mean like the Eclipse from Too Fast, Too Furious, the one that Tyrese was driving. Like one of the homies went crazy over that commercial, and that was his dream car, and damn it, he was gonna get one, and he did ultimately end up getting one. Blacked out, Euro all that type of stuff. This was back then, so that type of stuff was still cool. And then the Kia Soul commercial where they had the hamsters in the car vibing out, like that type of stuff do sell people, and I do think that type of stuff is cool, but you're not getting me on board with the flashing lights and cool music. I'm not rolling like that. You know what I'm saying? Even with video games, like you got to show me some gameplay. I got to see something in action. But with this phone, they got to talk about yesteryear, and it really connected with me because that was the time. And my sister, she was a BlackBerry fiend. And one of the homies, he was also in the BlackBerry as well. Like so much so that when they dropped it was called a BlackBerry Storm. I don't know why they did this, but it eliminated the keyboard. So it was like a touch screen. They was kind of like jumping in trying to compete with, everybody else. And so they released like a full touch screen phone, just completely different from whatever it was. One thing that was cool though, it had like a kind of haptic screen that when you push it, that like it'll push down and you feel like feedback in the phone. That was kind of cool. Didn't know other phone had it, and even now, you do, because sometimes you can hit a message or something and it'll do like a slight little vibration, but it still wasn't the same. So they were still ahead of the game in a way, but they had a step too far away from what it was that people enjoyed with BlackBerry, and BlackBerry had the earth in a chokehold, brother, and I don't know. I don't know what happened. I feel like they should have just stayed the course and maintained, and they would have ultimately been okay. It's like, yeah, you would have made less money, obviously. You would have had to downsize, obviously. You had to lay some people off, obviously. But I feel sometimes there was a saying, especially around that time, it was keep calm and Sperry on or something. It was like a sales line for Sperry boat shoes, which, bro, I got a leather pair of Sperry's that has lasted me through the eons. Speaking of which, I do have to repair the sole a bit because it's starting to come apart. But as far as the leather, the upper, even the soles ain't really wore out. It's just that where the sole meets the upper, it's kind of pulling away a little bit, but that's an easy fix, super easy fix. And then plus these joints is the leather joints. They're not the leather joints with the canvas on the side and the breathable material. These is the joints. When they first hit the scene, and you remember, because at one point even Sperry had the earth in the chokehold, especially with these ones. Like the preppy dudes, oh my goodness. They had these on with some freaking... I don't wear shorts this short. I don't. The wife she's bought me some pair. You know what? I take that back because that was a lie. I have worn them. The wife bought them. I throw them on. She liked the thighs to be out, so fuck it. During the summer, the thighs was out. You caught me. And it looked crazy. Because I work outside. And I wear pants. So god darn it, I had them freaking thigh huggers on. And you see the color I used to be before I started working outside, cause I'm brown skinned now, but I used to be fairly. I wasn't like light skinned. I wasn't Steph Curry light skinned, but I was a lot lighter than I am now. You pull them freaking, bro. It looked crazy. It looked crazy because my tan line, it's because my thighs never see sunlight. They never see sunlight, and then it was a situation of, like, over the summer they'll darken up. But once we hit that last vacation, about mid-August, we'll take our last like beach vacation for the year. From then until, because we'll start like, we'll take our first vacation of the year in like February, because my wife, she a teacher, and she get like a week-long break around that time. We'll hit our first one there. Then on our wedding anniversary, we'll hit another one. This time we didn't do two, like, around that time period, because our wedding anniversary is in March. We didn't do two because the kids wanted to, go on like a big trip. So that's what we got them for Christmas, and then we we got other stuff for Christmas, obviously, but they wanted to go on a big trip. So in February, that's when we went on a big trip, and it would have been too much money, to be honest with you, to go on another big trip for our anniversary. So we just did that. And then, so that was our first one of the year. But usually it'll be from February to freaking, we every month or every other month we off on the trip, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, after that, from August to February, the thighs is put up. They are put up. And I'm not going for none of it no more. Now it's kind of, because every year we kind of ramped it up a bit since we've been together. So, they out more often now, but I'm not wearing coochie cutters. You get me? I'm no longer wearing coochie cutters. But Sperrys, and that's something I could take care of myself. I like to do like little stuff. I mean, if it's something that don't be over my head with, I'm obviously just gonna pay somebody. You get what I mean? Or just replace it altogether. But certain stuff I do have, they got sentimental value to me. And when it's something that small that I could just do myself, and I have done myself. Another fun fact, I used to, customize shoes. So it's not beyond me to tear a sole off. It's not beyond me to completely change the color of a shoe and airbrush it, and then, do the whole shit. That was a whole thing for from 2014 on up to back then. If it was anything like kind of artistic and I could make at least $100, I was doing it. You get what I'm saying? I was doing it, and back then I was working in the steel factory. So my mind frame was a lot different. I was like, I'm trying to get it. Whatever I could do to get it, I get off work. And, I'm not going to go into that kind of tangent, but anyway, the Sperrys are an excellent shoe. If you can get one of the old, because I'm not even sure if they make these kinds anymore with like the full, complete leather upper. No other material. Because what I do, I wear the fuck out of them on vacation, bro. You talking about casual down? But chinos, little lightweight, light fabric collared shirt. It's not. No, I don't get the heavy because it's hot down. Because we go to the. It's not like a. You know what? I'm done with the vacation talk. I'm done. But that's how I do. I do like a light collared shirt, chinos, Sperrys. I wear them quite often. I am gonna fix them. But back to the BlackBerry situation. It like brings me back to that era. And one thing about like this newfound, because things are circular. It's going to always come back around. It's going to always come back around. Mark my words, motherfuckers is about to be wearing bell bottoms here soon. The next couple of years, motherfuckers is pulling them bell bottoms back out. Rest assured. Mark my words right here. The dudes wearing the crop tops has already come back. Will I wear a crop top? No. But the athletic brothers back in the 80s, they was crop topping it up. Mid-drift all the way out and breathing in public. This is not, it wasn't my thing. That wasn't how I get down. Because they rolled back around when I was in 6th grade, I think. They was rocking the bell bottoms. Old Navy made a killing that year. They made a killing. Speaking of Old Navy, man, Old Navy, because they ads pop up on my Instagram feed, right? They had a freaking knit sweatsuit. This how I know I'm getting old. I seen that goddamn sweatsuit. I said, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That joint was like a light tan type of joint. I was like, oh, man. I get myself, using my cousin's discount, of course, a pair of Adidas Samba. White with the cream toe. Little navy striped situation. Brown soles. With this tan knit suit. Killing them. Bruh, that's how I know I'm old as fuck right now. Little stuff like that excite the boy. Tankless water heaters, brother. We went to go visit my cousin. They just bought a house. Shout out to him. Brother, talk about a hard-working brother. And coming from where we came, you never would have thought. That's why a lot of this, oh yeah, I can't do it because of this and this. No, shut the fuck up. You can't do it because you don't want to do it. You want it to be given to you. But anyway, they got a goddamn tankless water, and it don't take up no room. Now I've seen these things before, like watching people's houses and stuff, like you see them. But it's not nothing that I just inspect. It's nothing that I can inspect. And I'm like, so everybody taking a shower or whatever. And it had to be like 8 people in the house. Nah, it's them, their 2 kids, me, my wife. It ain't nobody but 8 people. How many people it was, it don't even matter. But everybody had caught a shower, and his girl hit me. She was like, you wanna go up take a shower? Cause we was finna do something. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait for the water to get back hot. that's the fuck I said. She was like, nah, you can go ahead. I'm like, word. And so I'm expecting at best it to be like lukewarm or some shit, steaming. And I like scalding showers. I'm one of them type. I like, you know how they say you shed skin all throughout the day and all, you got your new, I'm burning that whole layer off. I'm having me a fresh new layer of flesh by the time I get up out that shit. And people say, oh, it ain't good. I don't give a fuck. That's what I like. I've been doing it since I've been able to do it. I'm cool. Oh, your skin be dry, brother. I moisturize. I'm not worried about my skin being dry. I moisturize. Anyway, so I'm in that joint. Steam just rolled because I cut the shower on. I like to let my shower heat up. Do people do that, or is that just a southern thing? You let your shower warm up. I cut that bitch on, and you know what I'm saying, I'm in the mirror brushing my teeth, what have you, because that's when I do all my prep work. You know, I might line myself up a little bit, line my beard up a little bit, clean that up, brush all the tangles out my head, and because I've grown my hair out now. I've not really decided what I'm gonna do with it. I've not grown my hair out since 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. And then since then, I've been like keeping it low cut and have my waves situated. You know what I'm saying? Messing with the waves or what have you. But for whatever reason, I've just felt like growing my hair out again. Even in high school, I always had like longer hair. Well, not longer, because you know my hair is super curly, so it's never presented as long as it looks. It's always a lot longer than what it looked like. But anyway, so I do all my stuff while it's heating. Bruh, I cut that joint. Steam is rolling immediately. So much so, I'm trying to brush my teeth and do my thing. The mirror is fogged up. I can't do it. I'm like, bro, I got to get one of these. But anyway, water heaters, get my juices from. I found that out. But back to this clicks communicator situation. It's something that, like, you know how you could kind of see something, and it's not so much I need to buy this right now, but it kind of pulls you to it. It makes you like super. You start doing all this research on it, this type of stuff. That's how I found that you can't buy the bitch right now. To be honest, you can't buy the bitch right now. It's not. I mean, you can pay for it right now, but you're not gonna have it. But I don't engage in stuff like that anymore. just by nature of, I can't have it today. Why am I paying you today? I think that's one thing that, we kind of grown into doing these days, that I'm just not engaging in that type of, I guess you call it consumerism anymore, to where I'm consuming stuff I'm not even having right now. And if you want to, instant call it what you want to call it. Like, if I'm giving you $500. Like, even when the next PlayStation 6, I get it when I get it. That's how I'm looking at it. I'll get it when I get it. Because chances are, it's only going to have 1 or 2 games. It's going to maximize what it's going to be presenting. I'm really only going to be interested in one of them, to be honest. Because that's another thing I'm not doing. I'm not just buying something because it's new, or buying something I'm not interested in. That, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that no more. And by the time I play and beat that game, if I'm really fucking with it, I'll be done with that game in a week and a half. And then what I'm be doing? Playing the same shit I'm playing now. So, but that aside, like, the phone itself, it does have like modern stuff to it. You can go on Discord, you can go on YouTube, things like this. You can do all that stuff, but it's really built to, quote unquote, communicate and kind of transport you back to that era of, and I don't even want to say smartphone, because what would you even classify that? Because it could do smartphones. It did have touchscreen. You could browse the internet. You could send emails. You could do a lot of that stuff on that first. And it was a computer, because it was known like the Trio something. I actually worked for a company. What was the name of that goddamn phone? It had a little kind of external antenna. It was really built to compete with the BlackBerry. And I worked for a company that refurbished them. Like a recycling company, but they specifically dealt with phones. That was a cool company to work for, actually. But, what the fuck? It started with a T. I forget the name of it. It's not really that important. But what's important is the era. And, like, when you seen somebody whip out, and down here, you didn't see it often. You really didn't see it often. Like, my sister, she's probably one of the only people down here with one, to be honest. Because you didn't see stuff like that till you, like, went up to Atlanta or something, and she went to college up near there, and that's just what she was on. And when somebody pull one of them out, they was about something. It was a real kind of like status piece in a way. People right now, people will have this whole idea around the iPhone, and if you don't have an iPhone, you're broke. That's superficial bullshit. That's actual bullshit. iPhone is not even really all that. It's popping here. That shit ain't popping like that nowhere else. And it's because of, us as Americans, we have like a weird obsession with image and, presenting ourselves except for when we fat. We don't give a fuck about being fat about this bitch, having titties jiggling and shit as men. We don't give a fuck about that, but fuck, if you got an iPhone, you were like get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Anyway, that's interesting to me. And the place, we're going places right now, and like I said, you see it in the people buying vinyls. And shout out to the good brother Will 777 JP. Hop over on his Discord. He just got a vinyl player not too long ago, and he's been enjoying it. And there was something posted in there about how vinyl sales are up. All kind of this, I don't want to say vintage, because it ain't really that old. It's probably like the last, 10 years ago. Probably a little bit longer than 10 years. Probably between 15, 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. This stuff that was popular then is popular, is coming back into being popular. The whole analog and full ownership of your media, which is dope. One thing that I always kept up with is Blu-rays. Anytime sometimes I go to my local game store, I won't even buy a game. I just buy a Blu-ray. I make sure that I'm leaving, like Denzel, I'm leaving with something. I'm gonna leave with a Blu-ray. This last time I went up in there, so I got the full 007. I got all that. I got one more to get, and then I had the full Bourne series. Cause that's type of stuff. I like special ops type action, beat a motherfucker up with a phone book type shit. That type of shit I like. You get what I'm saying? I'm not really, I watch certain stuff, but it's not my preference. I like to see a motherfucker get beat. If a motherfucker ain't throwing no hands, and this is actually how I used to be with video games, bro. If I wasn't shooting and blowing shit up, I'm not fucking playing that shit. Now I open myself up a bit to where I'll engage in some other shit in video games. But when it comes to these, nah, bro. It just, and I like to, it's not really much new shit popping that, you know, it'll have to be a specific actor tied to it. Like anything Jason Statham, I'm in there. I'm in there. The most recent movie I actually seen, as far as recent, and this didn't come out, it actually didn't come out that long. It probably came out like last 2 years. The Beekeeper. He's up in, he's like a special type of operative on there. Hella good. Wrath of Man, hella good. I like that type of shit. That's just my vibe. I kick back on the sofa and I'm locked in. That type of shit. Or something like sci-fi or Knights of fighting. Yeah, you don't even gotta be fighting no dragons. But if you got a sword and you find another motherfucker with a sword, I'm in there. Call it meathead, call it what you want to call it. That is my bag, brother. That is my bag. But so I've stayed on top of the Blu-ray, and you know, seeing these people, because I am a music guy, I do enjoy music, but I've been fine with the last CD I bought was that, and I listened to was Kid Cudi's Speeding Bullet to Heaven. That's the last one I bought. You know, I do have a J. Cole KOD vinyl, but it's like that'll never get played. It's like autographed and everything, so I'm not playing it. And I don't feel a pull to go that deep. I feel more connected or connection with, bruh, you remember back in the day, motherfucker had a whole binder. You hop in the whip with your boy on the floorboard or even on the passenger seat or on the dashboard. That motherfucker got that binder, CDs just through that joint. Just all through it. You get what I'm saying? And you just, whatever you rocking with. Bro, I remember one of my favorite CDs, motherfucking Bubba Sparks. I don't know if y'all remember Bubba fucking Sparks. Oh, shit. But anyway, that's the type of, like, and nothing against vinyl. That's like the highest quality of, and when you put that joint on, that's what you're listening to. That's what you listen to. It's like a whole era of, you know, people going back to ownership and intentional living, and, you know, the idea of getting rid of these streaming services and stuff. And I fuck with that. I fuck with that movement for real. But I wouldn't dive all the way back to, I don't have a connection to it. I just do not. But shoot, getting a CD player set up, that full, you know, the setup people had in their entertainment system. You know the setup with the receiver and such. The tower, don't touch it. Go over to your mom friend's house. You know not to touch it. Last time I had that little glass door swing out. Fuck around, swing that bitch out too hard. That bitch break on your ass. You getting an ass beaten right then, right there. First of all, don't even put your fucking fingers on it. Don't even get your fingerprints on the glass. Ass whooping. Ass whooping. You feel what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Bro, I seen a video clip yesterday. This father, he was delivering an ass whooping for the eons. And I'm not even that type of dog. I don't believe you should discipline your kids and put it on the net. I think that shit corny. Like, who are you doing that for? You know what I'm saying? I think that shit corny. But I seen it and I'm like, oh shit. I got nostalgic, bro. I don't know if you ever been nostalgic over an ass beating before, but you couldn't, I don't know, bro. It was a weird feeling because it's like, people still whoop their kids' ass like this these days in 2026. They delivering ass whoopings like this. It's like, sure, obviously, because people who grew up in my time, they got kids now. Got multiples of kids. Some of these people at my age, they got kids finna graduate fucking high school. My kids ain't that old. I didn't have my first kid until I was like 27. You know, I started pretty late, especially down here. In the fucking, like, what, motherfucker, by 27, motherfuckers be having 3 and 4 kids already. Like, they can leave their kids at home and they can fend for themselves. That's how old these fucking kids be by the time you turn 27. I remember I was working in a place. I worked at a plastic factory for a little while. I was a little in-between type of joint. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to stay that long, but it was where I was at. This girl, Man, that's another thing too about women, that they will, if you cute, if you look like you in decent shape and you come to work, you feel me? That's the big thing down here. Like, if you got a fucking job, you don't got to search for no coochie. Coochie will come and find you. Anyway, this girl, she like chopping it up with me. And I'm a friendly guy. I'm not going. And she was fucking cute, to be honest with you. She wasn't toe up. But I knew, because I already knew she had kids. And at this time, like, I'm not talking to no broad serious if they got kids. I'm not doing it. Do you think what you want to think? Rock how you want to rock. I'm not even busting down a broad that got kids at this point. Because you just got to deal with too much extra stuff. And then plus, some people discipline their kids. Some people don't discipline their kids. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But, so she chopping it up, talking to me, blah, blah. She asked me if I got kids. I'm like, nah. She said, how old are you? I said, 27. She's like, 27? You don't got no kids? I said, nah, I don't got no kids. She said, by 27, I was on my fourth one. I said, I'm like, bruh, okay. But she was cool. I mean, it didn't go nowhere, obviously. But, because at that point, like, it's a point to where even if a girl like you and like they interested, but they not pressing, you know what I'm saying? So when the energy shift, she could just be a homie. You feel what I'm saying? She'll still probably give you some. Like if times is tough, and say you need a little, yeah, you can hit them up and they'll be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, come through, whatever, you bring a little food over there, a little whatever, and y'all get it smacking. But anyway, that aside, these were different times back then. These were different times, man. These days you can't have a good time with an individual and that be that and shit just be cool. These days it's a headache. I would imagine. I've been out the game for 10 years at this point. But anyway, what I was on, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Anyway, what I am interested in is getting back to like technology that I feel pulled to and, got a sense of nostalgia around it. And plus, what's also cool about the movement itself is people, like, you buy it, it's yours until you sell it to somebody. Nobody can come and take it from you. You get what I'm saying? And I don't really have it. It's weird because I don't have that attachment with video games right now. I just do not. If shout out to people like Will 777JP, they do. But I've never been a person to like go back and play a game that I've already beaten. I go back and watch movies I like. I will go back and listen to albums I like. Like a lot of the music I listen to now, Boys the Men up in that joint. Boys the Men, I was a Ute when Boys the Men was putting stuff out. Youngblood, DMX. I was a Ute. It's not too much new shit that's come out to where I'm bumping that shit. It's not too much. Like in the last couple years, like I'll say Dolph. And it's kind of different because like it's over. You get what I'm saying? R.I.P. It's over. Nipsey Hussle. It's over. That's all we gonna get. You know what I mean? So in situations like that, it's different. Or you got somebody like a Jay Electronica. This motherfucker, he hadn't put no album out before, and he put the one album out. That's all you get. We're not getting another Jay Electronica album. It's just not happening. So it's special situations in there to where, like this recent J. Cole release, the more recent one. I ain't listening to that. The more recent Kendrick Lamar, I ain't listening to that. The new Drake just dropped. I'm not listening to that. That motherfucker, in my mind, that motherfucker ain't produced no album since Take Care. And I'm cool with that. I go back and listen to that. I'm cool with that. So stuff like this, I'm cool with just getting what I like and keeping it and rocking out. And rocking out. You know what I mean? So that's one thing, I'm getting back into as far as like CDs. I don't have a connection or attachment or even a real want to go out here and pick up. I don't have a connection to that. Sure, the audio quality is better, but at the same time, how good do I need it to be? You know what I'm saying? I'm in my garage bumping this shit. How good do I? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the tip top and I don't need all that. You know, at that point, what am I doing it for? Just because it's the best and I can have it, you know? But then I got something I really don't, you know what I'm saying? Like having a CD, cracking that bitch open, looking at the little that do so, even cassettes. I remember the first cassette I bought. I ain't had no business fucking buying this shit. I don't even know how I was able to buy it. Because I was not old enough. And at this time, they enforced that type of shit. Where your mama at? They would ask you in the store. It was a store called FYE music store. Motherfucking the block is hot. Lil Wayne. I ain't have no fucking business bumping that bitch. Went up in there and purchased that joint. Went up in there and purchased it. Ain't had no business. Like that stuff, like I got memories and whatnot tied to that media, that form of media. I ain't never went nowhere and bought no motherfucking vinyl. Even if I were to buy, and obviously now you would just order the stuff on the internet, even though there are stores you can go to, but your town might not. My town ain't got nothing like that. I mean, yeah, my town ain't got shit like that. We got a little vinyl section in Walmart by where they have all that. It's super small. It's like an Xbox section. It's super small. And you could go to Books A Million. I think that's what it's called. Books A Million. Now you can go up in there. Because that's where I bought the Speeding Bullet to Heaven. That's where I bought that. But that's in the city we rarely go to. We used to go like every other weekend. We won't do that no more. You get what I'm saying? So that will be my re-entry back into that type of thing. And plus, I got a CD player in my truck. This the original shit up in here from 2007. Load that bitch up. I can't load no vinyl up in here. Like for the first time, like cause my truck was in the shop a few weeks ago. And I was driving my dad's shit. And for the first time, I cut the fucking radio on, bro. I just cut the radio on and just was listening to whoever the fuck was on the radio. I can't tell you when the fucking last time I did that shit. I can't tell you. And I don't know how they go about picking songs and what's gonna play, what's hot right now. I don't fucking know. Because you hop on YouTube Music or whatever. This shit is put together by an algorithm. This shit ain't put together by no individual. You know, ain't no tastemakers no more. That shit gone. This shit is algorithm based. And I don't know if on the radio they do it like that or not. I don't know if the DJ is really like picking this shit, or they're rocking off what's hot in the club or what's hot wherever. I don't know how I go these days, but I just cut the fucking radio on. Of course, it's on the rock station because this type of shit my dad listens to. And I was just riding letting that shit rock. Window down. I'm like, bruh. And I was like, bruh, I can't remember the last time I did this shit. Usually you can hop in the whip, bro. The radio come on, you cut that bitch off immediately. Hit that Bluetooth or hit that aux cord and plug into the algorithm, bro. It's like, fuck. This where we at. This is really where we at. You know what I mean? And I finished up with this last piece back to gaming. PlayStation is introducing a kind of what's hot right now, kind of trending, and also where you can see player counts on the games, which I think they've been needed. I've been needed. This whole if it's not trending on Steam charts, you know, this fucking weirdery. I'm down for whatever can shut people like that up. For people who build a following or an audience watching Steam numbers, whatever can get them up out of here, I'm forward. I am forward. J-Tech had a back and forth with the Alania analytics dude about like how you getting these numbers and where they coming from, and because they just wrong. And if you're off 1 million and the total count is 5, 6, 7, 800 million or some shit, something outrageous, obviously. Being off 1 million don't matter. But if it's only a total of 2 million and you off 1 million, that matters. And it's no way, and then they'll use a kind of, we use sell through to kind of insulate them, because you really can't find that. It's a number we know exists. It's a number we know exists, but you're not gonna have access to that information unless you're in there. You got to be in there. And on the internet, a lot of people have made names for themselves dressing up a guess, dressing up a lie. And then they always able to run back and say, oh, well, but my sources told me at this time, or this was this, and I can confirm this. You can't confirm shit because you're not showing no proof. Like how your math teacher used to say, if you don't show your work, it don't count. If you don't show your work, it don't fucking count. I don't care the answer could be correct. I don't give a fuck no more. If you can't show how you got to where you got to, I don't care. And of course, we're not going to show that. But our clients, who is your clients? Who? Oh, we can't tell you that. All right, well, shut the fuck up then. And then you got these weak ass games media. They don't ask no fucking questions. And it's weird to me because as Jay having this back and forth, I'm not jumping in there. Initially I was in on the conversation, but once it kind of narrowed down to it's them two. At this point, I'm just a bystander, and I'm just trying to see where it's going. And it's like Jay had an answer with some facts, or at least some information to where a person could make sense of, well, this is how he got to where he got to. He had some work shown. The guy, it's like he was getting more and more agitated. Then he called him like an idiot. I'm like, okay, we hit a nerve here. We hit a nerve here. Especially you're supposed to be a professional, and you out here. That's one thing about Jay. He'll hammer you down on a thing, but he won't be disrespectful about it. He'll get disrespectful after the fact. Like if you call him a name or then go on to block him or say something, then he'll pop off. But throughout the conversation, he just, hey, how you doing this? And according to this is this, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And the guy just didn't have no answer, just secrecy. And then it was, oh, you're an idiot. And then blocked him. And I'm like, how is this guy this irate by somebody asking questions when you got all these games media copy and pasting what he say? Do they not provide any type of pushback? Are they not asking questions? Because it almost seemed like he was uncomfortable with answering questions and questions being asked to him. You know? And if it's some shit that's just like, hey man, listen, bro, we got certain contracts, we got this, we got that. We can't really get into that, but I can assure you that these are the most accurate numbers you will see. You know, we can't really get into the science and the data of how we could go about getting them. Or even you can even be. We got certain partnerships in certain places that allow for us to see certain numbers. That would have been acceptable to me. But this whole, I'm just going, oh yeah, I can't. Like, you don't even have a PR answer. All you got is, oh, we can't. You feel what I'm saying? So it don't help your case. And first of all, I was already kind of annoyed by the fact of people just running with the number these people presented when these individuals have proven to be wrong countless, at least 5 times at this point. So much so, even when find out yesterday, the Silent Hill numbers they published, they had went back and deleted all that stuff because obviously they were wrong. So not only were you wrong, not only can you not defend your position, but you also going back and deleting shit. You going back and deleting? And these outlets are still posting this stuff. Asking 0 questions. Still posting this stuff. It's all bullshit. They all in cahoots. They all working together. That's the main reason I'm hyped for Sony to publish these numbers. Because even when Highguard finally kicked the bucket and people using these player account there and this player account there, ain't nobody playing it here, ain't nobody playing. They actually published the numbers per platform. PlayStation was where people were playing at the most, but everything was all about Steam. All about Steam. There's a couple other games it's like, I think Apex is like that, where more people are on PlayStation. Destiny, I think Destiny 2 is like that, when more people are on PlayStation. I think there's a couple other games that's like that, but you will never know officially because they don't put them numbers out. And I feel like when you got especially a lot of these big they don't game no way. They just show up to grave dance on games that they don't like. You could easily shut a lot of this stuff up And they may think, these companies may think it's beneath them to do that, but to be honest, you bet at this day and age, no, it's not. Because people hounding your player count numbers on Steam can cause people to not jump in and play. Like, oh, this game is dropping, this game is dying, I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna jump in. Why would I go play now if this shit gonna get shut down tomorrow? But if they knew that, especially if it's crossplay, if they knew that twice as many people were playing on this other platform, just cut crossplay on, and it's a whole pool. Then, like, bro, come on. A lot of people was out here, oh, Fortnite did, and Fortnite is 14 million in one day. That don't look dead to me. That don't look dead to me. Hell Dive too, 900 some K. That don't look dead to me. Cause you let the internet tell the Hell Divers 2 is dying. It's over. That's why I like, because most of the people who play in the game, they not on the internet no way. They not on X, they not participating in Reddit. Most people ain't participating in that type of stuff. They just not doing it. They just playing the fucking game and living their life. So here you got a clear barometer of motherfuckers who just playing games. They not trying to put on the podcast. They not trying to review this. They not trying to do none of this shit. They just playing games. So that's why I'm hyped for this specifically. Because anything that can combat the bull jive or the one-sidedness or the narratives, I'm for it. I'm for it. You know, like they got the trending thing, that's cool. But I'm not, I don't, that's not how I buy games. I don't buy games by what everybody else buy. You know, I'm not scrolling the store looking for shit. No, when I go up in there, I know what I'm looking for. That's what I'm getting, and that's what it is. I'm not browsing the PSN store. Like, why would I do that? If I'm that bored to where I'm just browsing the PSN store, like, bro, I'm going to do something else. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I go watch an anime or something. So I'm not that type of individual who just gonna hop on the store and just put some shit on sale. I'm gonna go peruse the sale. Like, no, I'm not doing that shit, bro. I'm cool. I don't even got shit on my wish list no more. I'm taking shit off. Like, let some shit pop up on my phone talking about, oh, the game you have wish listed is down. I'm cool. I'm cool. And that's where I am. Like, I'm not pre-ordering shit no more. I take that back. I will pre-order like the night before just so I can get them benefits. But as far as pre-ordering some shit days out, weeks out, months, I'm fucking cool. What the fuck that shit got to do with me? Oh, you can preload. Nigga, I can preload that shit from on the way home. I can preload that bitch. I can hop in the shower, start that download. By the time I'm out the shower and doing everything I need to do that shit, really goddamn play. Like, all these quote unquote conveniences that they build in, if you go ahead and buy some shit before you can play. Like, bro, I'm cool. I don't give a fuck. I'll catch that shit when I can catch it. I will catch it when I catch it. Like, this whole idea of being this wrapped up in buying it. Now, if you buy physical and you got to go ahead and pay now to make sure you get your shit, that's completely different. That's a timing thing. It's a timing mechanism in that. But for some digital shit, some shit that's fucking digital, what the fuck I'm doing? No, I'm cool. It's going to be edited. They're not running out. They're not running out. And that's one thing that I was always kind of, what I'm pre-ordering digital for. Cause I'm from that, going to the store. Going to a midnight release. Or going to the store day of release. You know what I'm saying? And here at the local store, she don't got infinite copies. She been in business now for 20 years now. This be her 20th. But yeah, ain't no infinite copies. There is a finite amount up in there. So if you don't get there and it's a popping game, you will be left out, or you had to go to Walmart. Now, Walmart has stuff most of the time. Yeah, they'll pretty much have everything and a plethora of it. You feel what I'm saying? But if you want to support a local business, you got to get there when you can get there. I mean, you got to get there when that get there. Or call ahead and say, hey, bro, because I'll do that in a heartbeat. I will do it. I hit her up, say, hey, are you getting such and such? She'll be like, yeah, I'm getting it. Whatever. Sometimes it's a mistake, depending on who she got working there. Because there's one time I thought V-Rising was getting a physical release. And I didn't, because I'm not checking the internet because I can just call and see. Because she'll have a list of games that she's ordered in, and she'll know, you know, if it's, and she usually get 99% of new shit. And she was like, yeah, But then I wanted to go, and then, you know, it happened. It was just a miscommunication. Something got mixed up somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? But other than that, like, no, I'm not participating in that type of stuff. Especially now, I buy a lot of stuff. I buy most stuff. And the reason I buy most stuff digital now is because I play a lot on the portal, and I'm getting up and changing it, and like, nah. Because especially during the fucking summertime, I'm not even at home to change it. You feel me? I'm at somebody Airbnb somewhere, and get my hanging out on and chilling in the evening with the portal, and that's how I'm rocking out. So if it's a couple of new games and I want to just play, I can't do it because you gotta physically be there to change the game. You know, which I wish there was a way or something they could implement to where, like, if you buy a physical, you get like a key to access it through the cloud or something. I'll even take that. Where I can access it through the cloud and then play it. You know, and it not have to be physically in my system. You know, like the key, like my account is recognized as owning this game physically, and I can, you know, play it and switch between them that's the shit I'm looking forward to if they do that. But they probably won't. But it'll get motherfuckers on the fucking cloud. It'll get motherfuckers to pay for fucking premium. So maybe they should look into that. And so I gotta pay extra. Well, stay fucking home then, switch that fucking disc out, bro. I'm talking about me and what I would appreciate. I pay for premium all fucking ready. You get what I'm saying? My enjoyment or engagement of gaming ain't dependent upon what you can and can't do. I'm not. And that's another thing too. Like, I feel like people overly give a fuck about what somebody in some other country can do. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't live my life like that. I can't go about my day-to-day worried about how somebody else is experiencing something. You get me? But on that note, that's all I got for you right now. I ain't gonna drag you on too much longer. Appreciate you for coming through. You know, catch me every Tuesday on the Just Playing live stream over there on the Big Homie Will 777 JP channel with Cool Brother RPG88. We'll be getting into something over there every Tuesday. And right here, every Saturday, 11 in the AM. Hop on in the chat. Or just cut it on and listen. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do it. That's how I do it to be a premiere. So, you know, it's not recorded live or nothing. So you won't have people, you won't have interruptions. You just listen on through. But, yeah, appreciate you for coming through. Episode 14, that's a wrap. That's all we got. I'll catch y'all outside the next one. I'm going.